Hey guys, my name is Jonathan Reich. I'm a licensed CPA in the great state of Louisiana, and today we're going to be talking about some of the best money transfer apps that you can use as a small business owner. So, as a CPA, I help tons of small businesses kind of figure out how to send money to independent contractors, employees, pay bills, those odd one off payments, stuff like that. And so I've got a pretty decent sized list, as you can see up here, that I kind of want to go over today, talk about the pros and cons. We're going to try and keep it short. This is more of a listicle type video instead of something where we're going to do a deep dive into each and every one of these. But there are some different fitting situations where maybe one of these applications may excel in place of another. So in no particular order, let's go ahead and get started. The first one I want to talk about is Melio. So Melio is kind of newer. I like Melio because you get free ACH transactions depending on whatever plan you have subscribed to. So, if you're sending a ton of ACH transactions, just paying a ton of bills every month, or you're paying a ton of subcontractors, or maybe your employees want to get paid this way for some reason, Melio is an interesting solution to that because you can kind of stack up however many ACHs you want during the month. The other thing is you can pay via credit card, 2.9% fee, I believe. Even if that individual or business doesn't want to be paid via credit card, Melio will cut a check and mail it to them. It's pretty neat. It's definitely one of the more versatile ways to send funds. You can also do wires, international wires, I believe. It just gives a lot of flexibility whenever you're trying to pay for things. And then the other thing is, I like to think it's pretty cheap. So you can get a couple free ones every month forever, up to 60 ACHs a year. Or if you want to, support the business and really up the amount of ACHs you're going to get, you have that option. So that's a little bit about Melio. I've definitely been working with that on that one with some of my clients and been pretty impressed with it. The next one is Venmo. We've all heard of Venmo. Venmo can kind of give me the heebie-jeebies sometimes though, because if you're using Venmo often for your business, the first thing that comes to my mind is messy books. Venmo does not integrate very well, unlike Melio, with QuickBooks or Xero. You have to do a manual transaction in order to keep up with it. It's great for those one-off payments. I wouldn't do more than maybe 2 or 3 max a month, because what happens is you start going through your bank transactions, you're trying to do a reconciliation. What did I Venmo $500 for 3 weeks ago? I don't remember. Now imagine you got 20 of those a month. It just becomes a mess really quickly. But some of the good things are it's readily available. People are very familiar with it. Tons of people have a Venmo account. And so it's just user friendly. People are familiar with it. But like I said, I would not use it daily as a business enterprise. You need to find a different way to make payments. Even though Venmo can be attractive because it's fast to set up, you're going to be in it for the long haul. Don't always go for the fast and easy option. The next one is PayPal. I don't necessarily hate PayPal. It's a little bit more clean than Venmo. Lots of people are familiar with it. It's easy to set up. It's ready to roll. I don't have as many complaints with PayPal. Typically, I do believe PayPal has slightly higher fees when sending funds if it's not the friends and family option. But for PayPal, people trust it. It's got huge brand recognition. It's been around for a while. If it's personal and it's peer-to-peer, if I'm sending money to my brother, he's going to get that money. It's fast. It's almost instantaneous. If it's business related, though, sometimes money does get hung up while PayPal verifies the transaction, which can be a little frustrating. But I don't have, from an accounting standpoint, I don't have a problem using PayPal. Once again, though, it's good as a secondary platform. I would not want to use it day to day. If you have a couple hundred PayPal transactions, you need to make sure you have something robust that is able to plug those to your accounting software. Otherwise, it becomes kind of a mess quickly. The next one I want to talk about is Stripe. Stripe is more so for receiving funds. I don't believe there's an AP module in it, but there are tons of options whenever you're using Stripe. It's highly customizable. If you want to receive funds from people, customers, I would only pick Stripe if you're a kind of mid-size enterprise. You need to be large, you need to be robust, you probably need a developer on your team to get the most out of it. Now, Stripe does have really, really good reporting, but in my opinion, it's going to be overkill for most small businesses. If you don't have a dev on your team who can kind of customize the API to like guide your customers through that checkout process, Stripe is not going to be one of the ways that you want to like facilitate money transfers. It just doesn't fit the bill, in my opinion, for most small businesses. The next one is QuickBooks Bill Pay. This one is great if you're already using QuickBooks. If you're not in the QuickBooks ecosystem, it doesn't even make sense to consider this one. Kind of self-explanatory. Now, I like it obviously because it plugs to QuickBooks. It's right there. It's ready to go. You've got your invoice loaded. Okay, set it to pay. How do you want to pay? ACH, check, whatever. You're done. But it's kind of costly. I don't love giving into it any more money than I already have to. Their QuickBooks Enterprise Suite is already kind of expensive. Like I've got some clients that are already paying over $1,000 a month for QuickBooks because we're running payroll, project costing. You add on a bill pay feature, that's just another $117 a month for the introductory fee, and then it becomes $235. It's just a lot. It's a lot of money, and so it's kind of expensive. But it keeps everything under one umbrella. It is a little bit more limited compared to Melio, but if you just want to stay with that green interface that you're used to, by all means, I don't have any problems with QuickBooks, but just kind of know what you're getting yourself into. The next one I want to talk about is Bill.com. Bill.com is great for larger companies. Typically, I would use Bill.com if you're sending out over probably 100 to 150 invoices a month is kind of where I would start like being say, okay, we need some type of AP module. Bill.com is going to be great for paying vendors. You do have different ways to pay. You can have them cut a check. It's going to be like any other typical payment processor platform. You can cut a check. You can pay via ACH. You can pay via wire. Unlike Melio, though, I do not believe you can pay via credit card unless that vendor specifically allows credit card payments. Whereas Melio will do some work on the back end, charge that small 2.9% fee. Bill.com, you don't have that option. You don't have that flexibility. A little bit more about Bill. It does integrate pretty well with a lot of accounting platforms. Unfortunately, though, you're talking some money. Bill is not cheap. And I can show you right here is one of my favorite things to pick on. Anytime that you click on a platform and it says custom pricing for enterprise, you have to talk to a salesperson. They're going to give you a pitch. I mean, to me, that starts at like a couple $100 per month. And so, and it only goes up from there. The bigger the platform, the larger the volume you're pushing through, the more expensive it's going to be. And so just keep that in mind with Bill. It is a very robust system. I've used Bill in the past. I really don't have a problem with Bill, but I also wasn't the one paying for it. Okay? The final money transfer app that I want to talk about today is one that a lot of you should probably be familiar with. A lot of banks allow it for interpersonal loans and stuff like that, or not loans, but sending money from peer-to-peer. It's Zelle. I like Zelle for sending money to my dad or my family. I don't like Zelle if I'm running a business. Do not use Zelle unless it's kind of like Venmo where you're only using it once or twice a month. You need to have something in place that's going to actually allow those funds to be transferred fluidly and be able to be tracked. Zelle is great if you need to instantaneously pay a sub because they're about to sue you and you need to send them a couple $100, but don't use it unless you've got something else that is like kind of taking charge for your money transferring. It's just, it gets messy quickly. The other thing is with Zelle, you can do it with an email or a phone number. You don't always have to have their bank account. That's great, but sometimes that can lead to mistakes. And so if you accidentally mistype something, now your money is going to the wrong person and you can't get it back. It's kind of loosey-goosey. And so I don't think it's great for business, but it's great if you need to like send your brother some money because he's overseas and someone stole his wallet. Like you have options there with Zelle. But overall, like if you're running a business, you definitely want to consider like Melio, Stripe if you're a big business, Bill if you're a big business. You may consider PayPal. I don't have any problems with PayPal, for instance. I think they're kind of a good middle ground like Melio. But you're just going to kind of want to figure out what fits your needs and then maybe pair it with like a Zelle or a Venmo for that occasional one-off. And then that's how I would run my money transfer app. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I know that was a quick one. It was rapid fire, but hopefully you learned something and now you can make a decision on what you want to use.